is a question that's come in, and I don't know how relevant it is, how important it is, how eager you people are to hear this, but it probably is relevant because I'm old and have a lot of injuries, and maybe this will explain some of them. So my max lifts over the years, that's someone's question. So as far as bench press goes, I'll start with that because, you know, when you see a dude in the mall or in anywhere and they're like, "Hey bro, how much you bench?" That's like the world's most famous question to a meathead. I'm not a crazy bencher. I've done 405 for 10 reps. That's the best. I've never done 11. I've never done 12. I've done it for 10 on a few occasions. Regularly 6, 8 reps, but I've done it for 10 more than a few times. In fact, I've done 405 close grip for 10 reps. But I've never tried more than 405. 405 is like my limit because it feels anything heavier than that really isn't worth trying. I think anything heavier than that feels like I could get injured. It's just too much pressure for the entire shoulder capsule. I feel like if I went up to 450, my humerus would blow right out the back of my shoulder. And that's where strength athletes are insane. And they're genetically put together. Their tendons, their capsule, their elbow, their shoulder, the whole complex is put together differently. Then it goes to the fiber type that they have. Because there are guys that I see in the gym or strength athletes that couldn't stand next to me physique-wise. You know, my muscles are rounder, fuller, harder. Their arms might be, you know, 20, 19, 18 inches. I have a friend who's got like 18-inch arms, can bench 500 pounds. Fuck, I don't think I could bench 500. I say it when someone asks me, no, your max, your absolute max. Because they'll say how much you bench, I say 405 for 10. And they're like, no. Well, I don't know. I don't want to know. Because that's just too dangerous. But I would assume if I could do 405 for 10 that I, you know, hopefully, but would I tear something horribly? Probably. You know, unless I was all shirted up and, you know, whatever. So I would never try 500 pounds. And likely from this point forward, I'll probably never try 405 again. It's just too painful and not worth it. But that's what I've done. 405 for 10. I've done 405 for 10 on the close grip. And more impressive is things that I've done for reps. Like I've done 315 for 30 on a flat bench. I've regularly done 20 to 25 on an incline with 315. Moving to squats, I did a squat competition back in 2010. I did 405 for 30. And around that time, I was regularly doing that stuff. That's kind of the way I trained. I like high volume, high reps. I've done overhead military presses, 315 for 12 reps. I've done that on a 10 to 12 for a pretty regular basis. Dumbbells, 150 pounds overhead. I think it was in LA. If you go on my Instagram, there's some videos of me doing 180s. My brother spotted me. I did 180s for 7 reps. And I dropped down to the 150s. It's only 30 pounds less, and I think I did 12 to 15 reps with that.
What was your max squat?
I never maxed squat again. The squat was, I used to regularly do 500 for 15, like easily. Same thing with the deadlift. I did 500 for 13. It was the most I ever did on deadlifts. But my goal was always hypertrophy and to live to the next, to fight another day. So I never ever tried to max out. I've done 405 for 10 on a front squat. But it was never important to me to try to get a 1 rep max. It was just too painful. I knew what it felt like doing those reps, never mind adding another 50, 100 pounds. I just don't think I'm built like that, or my body's not put together like that. So that was it. I obviously am strong for my frame and for what it is I do, my goals. I'm probably one of the stronger, 212 bodybuilders ever. I've trained with most of them, and at the height of my strength, I don't think many of them could do what I've done, what I've been doing. And that just shows you the genetics, because there are guys that look rounder than me and look better or bigger. So it's not all about strength, or the weight, the amount of weight you do. It's about how your body responds to that weight, and so on and so forth. But some of the greatest responses I get have been from moderate weight, like bicep curls. I can do bicep curls with 40 pounds, and my arm just feels like it's blowing up like a balloon. It's not like that's not a lot of weight. I just don't use a ton of weight with everything. That's it. Those are my numbers. Not overly impressive. And I never trained to be a power lifter. So I'm sure had I had proper training to do so, I could have obviously moved more weight, but at what risk? I wanted to develop a physique that I envisioned, not just move weight. So that's that. Peace.
Alright, this is the Boston Mass. Thanks again for watching. Now, if you're not subscribing, subscribe now. Tell all your friends to subscribe. If you haven't, do it now. Alright?